Tonight's episode is all about the Siren, better known to us as Lady Comstock. We discuss who and what she is, whether she's alive or dead. We have some help from the Lutesses in decoding what exactly is going on in her mind. We also start unravelling the tears which will continue to piece together the history of Columbia, because this is Bioshock Infinite Explained, Part 20. Greetings and welcome back to Bioshock Infinite Explained, Part 20. I feel like we've hit some sort of some milestone here, and if you have been with me right from the start, then thank you for your time, thank you for your comments, and thank you for helping my channel to grow. Obviously, if no one watched it, I probably wouldn't make the videos. So here we are at Comstock House. We can't get in because the door's locked, quite frankly, and however, we have discovered that thanks to the fact that Elizabeth is wearing Lady Comstock's dress, that Lady Comstock would be able to open the door for us. Sadly, Lady Comstock is suffering from a mild case of... Oh, money! Lady Comstock is suffering from a mild case of death, but would you believe it, they have carefully preserved Lady Comstock's body. So all we need to do is head over there, perform a bit of surgery upon her limbs, and we've got ourselves a key to the door. Now, in the previous video, I started my...
There's the grave.
Oh, God, that's embarrassing. Sorry. In my previous video, we started a kind of whole plotline.
Where are you going?
Come on.
What are we looking for?
And during this video, I will try to continue that plotline overview, but obviously, as we are about to meet the ghost of Lady Comstock, I will interrupt that description on probably on many occasions as we fight. Now, I will just make a slight confession here that when I was walking around this city in the between the videos, I got completely lost and ended up going to quite a lot of these locations kind of before while I was wandering around. I actually lost Comstock House. Now, I know that's embarrassing, and I know you're probably thinking, how on earth could you lose Comstock House? It's the biggest thing here. But I did. I lost Comstock House, and therefore I've actually visited quite a few of these locations before. So if at any point that you kind of see an edit in the video, that's because I've tried to kind of edit in what I saw the first time into the current walkthrough, so you don't kind of get like a weird jump. And with that in mind, there is a sealed tomb on the right of Lady Comstock's, and I couldn't manage to get in this one last time. There's a bit of gear in the background, but I did a bit of reading on the web, and it turned out it's one of those old Zelda puzzles that you got two candles on the left and right, and if you light them, everything opens. Now, sadly, I'm still suffering from my little glitch, and I don't think the gear kind of picks up properly, but nevertheless, that's how you get in there. For a nice little bonus. Now, there isn't a name on the crypt here, but I've got a vague feeling that somewhere else there's a reference to this crypt. I can't remember that on top of my head, though. Maybe you can let me know in the comments section if you can remember whose this is. So here we are back at the tomb of Lady Comstock. Now, what is about to happen here is...
They have her preserved in an airtight chamber.
Obviously quite
Fingerprints
unusual.
get us into Comstock House.
She's your
A
mother.
mother who abandons their child doesn't draw a lot of sympathy in my book.
Take a moment to think about what you're doing.
There. Will you open the door, or do I have to go in without you?
Now, Elizabeth's emotions at this point and her dialogue at this point are quite important. As we discover later, the creature that is created is not a ghost. The creature that is created is a result of the tears.
How are you, Mother?
Alive Lady Comstock's in other universes,
You and I
and
have some common ground.
Let me do it.
No.
Let me do it.
Elizabeth's emotions. So the hatred that she is feeling right now ends up being one of the keys to the fact that this is a dangerous monster that is created. And here comes Zachary Comstock to... You see, child, put the plan into motion.
You chose to follow a false shepherd, and he has led you astray. What I do for love. What lion does not cringe to see their cub in pain, but spare the rod, spoil the child? If you won't listen to me, perhaps you will listen to your mother.
It's worth pointing out that the speakers
are you all right?
that are up here, well,
Where
it kind of
did
looks
she
like.
go?
Hold on, you need to rest for a minute.
No, I'm getting that hand.
Elizabeth, why is your mother a ghost?
She's not.
I love the way he uses
He
that.
used me to power that device. He opened up some kind of tear.
Okay, now as we're about to face the siren, I haven't tried this in advance, but my plan with the siren is going to be to use the sniper rifle, which I've been powering up recently, and I'm going to try and maximise my damage by tunnel vision and by the critical hit one, and I'm going to try and shoot the ghost from a distance, and then whenever those kind of the guys that she resurrects get close, I'll either kind of zap them or blow them up with something. I don't know, but the plan is to try and not get too close to her and take her out from the distance with a very, very powerful sniper. So let's hope we succeed. Just before we leave this particular area here, if you look on the left and right there, can you see those kind of like speaker type things? They look like part of like a stereo speaker. Very, very similar look to what we saw back at the siphon. So therefore we can kind of make the deduction that the siphon was kind of taking the power out of her, and then those particular devices there are then putting the power back into her and using it to control her in some way. We are taking the health of her pretty fast. Oh dear, it's getting close. Now we did see those boxes of health around here, so if we can, when we get in trouble, we'll go and. Oh no, I'm just running in a circle. Right, over here, here we go. Oh well, she's followed me over. Run! Elizabeth! Grave, duck behind. Oh, well, it's nice of her to follow me over. Did I kill her, or was that just another scream? I hate the way possession gets stuck on little barriers like that. Let's do it again. And with a flying leap, he possesses Fox. Is that Fox? No, they don't. It's a Comstocks now, you know. Resurrected versions of them. There's quite a few as well.
I'll see what else I can find.
Get through this little bunch. Hopefully we can put another sniper bullet back into the siren itself. Yeah, I've lost my power to accuracy. Right, there we go. Where is she? Well, I suppose by shooting these collisions, right, so let's see if I can get her head from here. Aha! Victoire Adipose.
What is she?
No.
Nope. Hello.
What am I? My God. Is she the source of my power?
But what is she? Alive or dead?
Why do you ask?
And the delicious question is when.
The only difference between past and present
Is semantics.
lives, lived, will live.
Dies, died, will die.
If we could perceive time as it truly was,
What reason would grammar professors have to get out of bed?
like us all, Lady Comstock exists across time.
She is both alive and dead.
She perceives being both.
She finds this condition disagreeable.
Perception without comprehension.
It's a dangerous combination.
Look! Footsteps.
She goes to unfinished business.
We have to follow her. Convince her to open the gate to Comstock House.
So, the Lutess there helpfully explaining some more of what is going on with this strange creature. She is Lady Comstock, but she's not the dead version of Lady Comstock. In a sense, she's the alive version of Lady Comstock from another universe, another multiverse, another time. But of course, she's come to a universe where she is dead, which, as you can imagine, would be quite somewhat upsetting. So not only has she got the grumps from discovering that she's dead, half alive, she's also got the grumps from being half made by Elizabeth, who is currently hating Lady Comstock, which all in all together gives her this huge amount of rage. And the fact that she is almost kind of between universes as well, and created by the Cipher Machine, again then giving her all kinds of power. And in a sense what she's doing when she resurrects those guards is kind of merging those guards with those with their alive selves from other multiverses. So she's effectively doing to the guards what has been done to her. Now, as we go back to our little kind of whole plotline overview, where we were at last time was Comstock desperate for a child, and to add to the reason why he's desperate for a child is that when he was looking into the all the tears, he saw that the prophecies about Columbia and the Ark would only come true if he had a child, if he had an heir. So in a sense, without a child, his work is
She doesn't
undone.
seem all that cooperative.
There is a way to bring her to reason.
3 truths you must discover first.
Truths which, in this world, Comstock has destroyed.
If only one of you had the power to alter time and space.
That would be a blessing, wouldn't it?
Well, they're sarcastic.
Lizzie, I think they're talking about you.
There's something off about Lady Comstock.
Yeah, I noticed.
No, you don't understand. She doesn't belong here. I brought something through. I'm not so sure it was her.
And so the creature known as Lady Comstock is now kind of, after kind of being defeated for the first time, goes across Columbia looking for kind of memories that don't quite fit, or memories that have been erased. And before we talk about that though, here, do you recognise the tune? This is the one that appears on the beach. And I think we can safely assume that this is the body of the other Fink, the musical one. There's a Vox phone here describing his discoveries, and also lots of like guitars and pianos around. This is clearly the composer's lair. And there we've got a kind of jazz version of Everybody Wants to Rule the World, which we also heard earlier in the game as well.
My dear brother, these holes in the thin air continue to pay dividends. I know not which musician you borrow your notes from, but if he has half the genius of the biologist I now observe, well, then you are to be the Mozart of Columbia.
Yes, so the creature known as Lady Comstock is now locked in on 3 memories, or 3 truths about the Lady Comstock from this universe, which have been hidden by Zachary Comstock. Three ideas, or three kind of facts about her, which Comstock has wanted to hide. And now, while we go and search for these 3 tears, in some sense, we are kind of making her whole again, or allow it, you know, and as she does with these kind of ghost connotations, it kind of gives her peace and gives her rest to try and expose these ideas, and it also helps her to kind of reconcile with who she is and what she is as well. It also, crucially, will help Elizabeth to change her attitude towards her mother when she discovers kind of how that relationship kind of took place and how that kind of evolved, and how not necessarily justifying Lady Comstock's actions, but certainly explaining the motivations behind them, and in terms of allowing that kind of resolution between the relationship between Elizabeth and her mother, eventually allows them to find peace. And isn't that nice? Anywho, let's just change back to our normal bad guy killing kit. Anyway, we are discussing Comstock and his desire for a child. Comstock can't have a kid, goes to Lutece and says, "Hey, give me a kid." Lutece initially says, "No, I can't help you," and Comstock kind of says, "Well, I've tried everything I possibly can with my wife." Let's not go into details about what he's tried, but he has tried it many times, but has been unsuccessful, and eventually Lutece and Comstock come up with a solution, and that is that they will communicate with the male Lutece in another universe and try and find a version of Comstock who is still fertile and can still have a child. And what they discover, of course, is that the only versions of Comstock that are still fertile are the ones that are not in Columbia, that do not have the Lutece field giving them issues, which leads them to versions of Comstock that are still named Booker DeWitt and are unfortunately living rather miserable lives full of gambling debts and depressions and things in other universes. Now, they therefore enlist the male Lutece to
Really?
to try and find a way of getting
done.
the child, and they discover, or they cause, it's unclear, they discover or they cause that Booker is in huge amounts of financial debt, huge amounts of debt, real trouble, complete alcoholic as well, and, you know, a complete mess. And they make him an offer that, to quote, I think it's The Godfather, that he cannot refuse. They offer to completely pay off his debts using Comstock's millions if they will hand over the child, Anna. Booker doesn't really want to do this, but sees no real choice, and then later on we will see the scene where in fact the kid is handed over. But let's just have a look at what this little tear in front of us.
Should I open it?
Well, we've opened all the others. Oh dear.
That's my mother.
Language.
I assure you, madam, my sexual interest in your dear prophet is non-existent.
And Madame Lutece.
Furthermore, the man is quite sterile. It's a lie. Come here, you little bastard! I want her out of my house!
Sterile.
They weren't my parents.
Then what were you to them?
A child that they decided to imprison. She deserved whatever Comstock did to her.
What did you mean before when you said Lady Comstock didn't belong here?
She's almost feral. It's like she's a reflection of... I don't know.
But I think she found that less believable than her delusion.
And thanks to one of Bioshock's couple of glitches, let's just listen to that box phone again.
Lady Comstock seems to believe the child is a result of some errant act of carnality between myself and her beloved prophet. I told the poor woman the truth, that the child was a product of our little contraption, but I think she found that less believable than her delusion.
And Lutece there helpfully kind of reaffirming what we have just been discussing.
Comstock seems to have been made sterile by simple exposure to our contraption. A theory. Just as sexual reproduction can de-emphasize the traits of each parent, so goes the effect of multiple realities on our own. Your traits dissipate until they become unrecognizable or cease to exist.
Just before we get back to the little plotline we were discussing, have a look at these two photos in front of you. First of all, the photo on the left is a picture of Booker's office with an address, and the photo on the right is a picture of the lighthouse saying only one obstacle remaining. We can deduce that the one obstacle remaining is the lighthouse keeper, who we see killed at the very beginning of the game by the Luteces. There was the kind of evidence for that. And the picture on the left showing Booker's office in another universe, showing us the kind of the planning that went into finding and bribing him, paying him off, I guess blackmailing him to an extent. One slightly icky thing about this house is that there's only one bed, which would imply that they somewhat sleep with themselves. Although I do love the way that they have actually dismantled their own house to build this new test field into it, even to the point of view that the floorboards have been ripped away in order to kind of put this little tower into it. So hopefully you saw on those Vox phones the confirmation of what I have been saying about how this plotline kind of came together, the sterility of Comstock and Elizabeth coming from another universe. So to fill in the narrative there, so we had the male Lutece pays Booker for his daughter. Booker agrees. very reluctantly, but he does hand over the child. But after he's handed over the child, he has a last-minute change of heart, sprints after them, runs through the streets looking for his daughter, and discovers Anna being passed through the tear in a wall by the Lutesses. Both Lutesses step through. Anna goes through. Booker tries to grab her. Anna tries to reach out to Booker, but the tear closes, and as the tear closes, it chops off the end of her wee finger. Money! Why did you throw that? There was no need to throw that. It was right there. Now we will be getting that. I think once we visit the bank, we should have enough money to power up our sender. For now, we also just concentrate on keeping ourselves well stocked with little bits of ammo. Yes, so as Anna gets passed through the tear, she loses her finger, and we've discussed before that is what gives her her powers. I actually missed a Vox phone early on in the game, and some of you have kind of pulled me up on it, which is fine.
Hey,
You can do tell me what I've missed, because I do want to make sure I include all these things. A Vox phone from the female Lutece talking about how the universe doesn't like its peas mixed with its porridge, and in a sense Anna/Elizabeth is the peas mixed with the porridge, because she exists in those two universes, and to an extent she actually exists between those universes. She exists across them. She lives across more than one universe, and this is what gives her her powers to kind of open up tear and tear to tear to tear. Anyway, so Booker has given away his daughter, or been paid to leave his daughter, falls into a massive depression. In fact, for 20 years he's depressed, sitting in his office doing the occasional private eye work, working for
those lock-picking skills to work?
The Pinkertons, being a kind of all-round thug.
All done.
He regrets giving his daughter away so much that he carves the letters AD into his right hand, which stands for Anna DeWitt, her initials, and there he stays, but we will pick up his story a little bit later. But sticking now with Anna, who has been passed through the tears. We're doing pretty well on those health files now. When she goes through the tears, Comstock renames Anna Elizabeth to try and give her some sort of kind of feeling of possession to him, and makes up a story that Lady Comstock was pregnant for just 1 week, and this is like some kind of miracle birth, 1 week pregnancy, and then ta-da, child. Obviously, he knows this is rubbish, but the people buy it, and through propaganda and religious kind of connotations, people are persuaded that this is the miracle child, or the lamb, as he starts to call it in his public speeches. Now, Lady Comstock, of course, knows this is not her child, and in fact, this is the plot line that we are unraveling now. And she, there's a little book, which I think will.
Code book. I wonder where the cipher is.
I think this is the one from the
Catch!
I think we'll probably find out a little bit later. And thank you for the money. Lady Comstock hates Elizabeth. She knows it's not her kid. She knows she hasn't been pregnant. She doesn't know where this child's come from. She doesn't understand it, and she gets more and more upset about it. She is conflicted, though. She is conflicted because Comstock has forgiven her for whatever she's done in the past, and she feels that maybe therefore Comstock deserves forgiveness from her. But she has forgiven a lot, Lady Comstock, as we hear in some of the Vox phones a little bit later on in the game. She knows that he is a murderer, she knows that he is a fraud, she knows that he is a bad man, and yet she feels that she should forgive him because he's forgiven her. But this child is the last straw, and eventually she goes up to the female Lutece and accuses her of... Oh, God! Two crows at the same time. Oh, and a little other men as well. I think we might be in trouble here. Let's see how many we can possess to keep ourselves alive. Let's fire some big bullets into the back. I think I missed the possession.
I've got medicine!
Yes, help, please.
Great!
Run away!
Fireman, Booker!
Oh, great. Yeah, just what I needed. Oh, and with the heartbeat of doom, we're gonna leg it. Ow, ow, ow. Don't think there's a machine nearby, so I think we'll creep back up and see if we can take them up one by one, but could my health actually be any lower?
Fireman over there!
Right, I think there's a machine gun over there, so if we can get Elizabeth to turn that on, and we can, hopefully we can get them to more or less take each other out.
That's all I have right now.
Whoa! Yes, so Lady Comstock goes up to the female Lutece and accuses her of being Elizabeth's mother. You know, you're having an affair with my man. Lutece kind of scoffs at this because I mean, she's a fairly kind of asexual person. She claiming she has no interest in her husband at all, and actually tells Lady Comstock the truth that Elizabeth has come through. Has come through the machine, through the Lutece field. Unfortunately, this, rather than making Lady Comstock feel better, actually makes her feel a lot worse that Elizabeth is some kind of like Frankenstein, crazy monster child thing, and basically goes nuts and threatens to expose the whole thing and go public with the fact that this is not the natural heir of Comstock, but the irony being that it kind of is. Comstock thinks this one through, just tries to run away, run away, run away, run away. I think that was the sound of that fireman blowing up. Oh, and the band has stopped playing. What was that noise? Was that a Patriot noise? Kind of a robot sound. Anyone still alive? Oh, hang on, there's some crows. So yes, we've got one crow guy still alive. Where did it go? Oh, hang on, that was on my right. Is he up here somewhere? Yes, there he is. Die. Die. Oh, that didn't stun him. Oh dear. Oh no!
Don't die!
I've done this a couple of times now, taken out every single person that attacks me except one. And then it's the one that finishes me off. Right. Angry Adipose. Where are you? So, Comstock. There it is. Comstock can't possibly risk Elizabeth being exposed for not being his child, otherwise his prophecy would be ruined, his city would be ruined, his reputation would be ruined. So he does this. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. And die. Ooh, right. He does the only thing he thinks he can, which is, unfortunately, to murder Lady Comstock. But fortunately or unfortunately, this event is witnessed by Daisy Fitzroy, who works for Lady Comstock as a hand servant, or maid servant. This actually plays into Comstock's hands because he's like, oh, fantastic, I can accuse her of being the murderer through some kind of racist thing and propaganda, and people will believe it, and they did. This puts Daisy Fitzroy on the run, and actually jump-starts the rebellion. So this ends up being a tactical mistake by Comstock, blaming Daisy. Perhaps he should have blamed her on something else, as we just restock our stuff. Lady Comstock dies. Daisy runs back to Finkton, where she kind of sets up a base, where the poor people live. Money. Then, as Lady Comstock is now dead, she can now be portrayed as this kind of like angel figure, this Virgin Mary style legend, and Comstock kind of puts her picture all over Columbia, because there is little more powerful than a dead icon. You know, think kind of Elvis, Freddie Mercury, JFK. You know, actually, someone's dying can do wonders for your reputation. And as we have... Oh! That was a mighty scary there. And as we approach the bank, I think we are about to hit our 30-minute mark. So I shall, as we travel down, I think we'll make this our break between videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the discussions on Lady Comstock today, then please do give the video a like and subscribe to TheAdiposeTV if you haven't already. And you can, of course, follow me on Twitter and on my Steam group and Facebook, and just in the street, you know, just where I'm walking, you can kind of follow me there. But that might lead to kind of some sort of legal proceedings. But technically, you know, you can do that. Either way. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.